Hi everyone, welcome to the third video on Ansible learning series for network engineers. In this video we'll see how to run Ansible playbook using inventory file. In the previous video we have seen how to run it without inventory file. So this was a command what we used. Here you can see most of the variables we are given manually. The device IP address, the username, then password prompt, network OS, etc. So here in document you can see running a playbook without an inventory requires several command line flags. And a fully featured inventory file can serve as source of truth of your network. Using an inventory file, a single playbook can maintain hundreds of network devices with a single command. So we'll see how we can simplify this using an inventory file. So here you can see some basics about inventory file. So we can group the devices, logical grouping you can create in inventory, and here we can see some examples and some conditions. So here what they recommend is avoid spaces, hyphens and preceding numbers. That means you can use only numbers in the end, not in the beginning. Then even the group names can be case sensitive. These are case sensitive. And here you can see one example. So this is one group name. These are two devices under leaves group. Under spine also you can see two devices. Then again you can create a group of groups. This is the syntax for that. So you can see a meta group name and needs to be defined as children. So here network is a group of leaves and spines. So we define the children of network here, leaves, spines. This is one example. Again you can add all the variables what we define manually here in the inventory file itself. This is one example. So this is device name, then host IP address, the network OS what we defined here, then the username. So you can define it manually. So for spine and leaf they have given. So in same way even the variables can be grouped here. For example here they have given only device IP for each device, and below you can see they have defined all the variables as vars. So spine colon vars means these are the properties of these two devices, and for leaves as well they have defined. So in that way you don't have to manually give for each device, you can just combine all that as vars. Here you can see some more variable syntax examples. Here we will be using IND style inventory file, and we'll be using this format key equal to value. So you can see here if it is a YAML format, again we need to give key colon value. So we'll see those in the upcoming videos, those details. Then based on platform also we can group the devices. So leaves, they're given the device host details here, then they created a VYOS group which contains both leaves and spines. Then they have defined all the variables. Then they created another group called network and added VYOS under that. Then under data center they added these two VYOS and servers. So we can simplify the inventory like this. Then after that you can run it using -i or giving the group name. We'll see those now. Before that we'll run the previous playbooks what we created and see. So these are 3 playbooks we created in the previous video. The first playbook, what it does, it gets the host name of the device and prints it, and it even prints the facts, iOS facts. If you want to know more about that, you can watch previous video. Then in the second playbook, we were displaying the host name. Then we were configuring a username called Ansible in the device. In the third playbook, first we printed the host name, then we configured a new host name, Ansible underscore configured. The host name, the device host name will change to Ansible underscore configured, and then again we show the updated host name from the device. So we'll just try to execute without inventory file first. This is the device console, direct console. So it prompts for password. Yeah, so the first playbook gets the complete facts details from the device and it makes it in a readable format, or it creates it as a JSON format. Okay, now we'll run the second playbook. So before running it, we can verify here. Now you can see here we have only one user called admin. Now it is configuring the user called Ansible. Now we'll run the command again and verify. You can see Ansible has created a user called Ansible, which I defined in the playbook 2. Now we'll run the playbook 3, which changes the host name of the device. Yeah, you can see host name has been changed to Ansible configure. For now I'll revert the config manually. And I'll create a simple playbook which prints only host name for us to play around with inventory file. I'll copy this. I'll give name as get hostname dot yml. Okay, let's just run that. Yeah, now it just does a simple function, like it just prints the host name and operating system version. Now we'll see the default inventory file, which is located in etc Ansible host file. This is the default Ansible inventory file, which, since it is same machine, I'll open directly here. So you can see this is a host file. What I'll do, I'll make this as a backup file. and I'll create another file, empty file. Here you can see same thing what we are seeing in the website. So the grouping is explained and how to define individual host. They are given some examples, host range options and all. If you're interested, you can go through all this. This is one example for grouping. So using same syntax, I created one inventory file for me, which is here. So here you can see I have two devices, 172.18.1.1 and 1.2. So I given name R1 and added it as Ansible host 18.1 and R2 is 1.2. Then created a group, DC group, and I added this DC1 and DC2 under DC group. Then the variables of DC group I added the network connection CLI what I was giving manually here. Okay, it is available in the playbook. We'll see the playbook again. Yeah, so connection network CLI, then Ansible network OS, which I was giving in the command here. You can see iOS I was giving manually here. Then the username, I'll copy this, put it in my host file. Now let's try to run it. We'll go to terminal, then Ansible playbook -k, because I haven't given the username. I have given only username here, I haven't given password, so I'm giving -k, then the playbook get host name. Yeah, so it is trying to contact both devices and printing the output. So that means now it is taking the list from this inventory file. So if you want to see the configuration of this in Ansible, you can go to etc ansible ansible.cfg file. Here you can see a commented section. These are default values. So inventory by default it is mapped to etc ansible host file. Even if you uncomment it, it will work. But if you rename this file now, we'll rename it and see. I'll rename this to host1. Now let's try to run it. Okay, no host matched. That means it is not able to find the inventory file. Now what we can do, we'll edit the configuration file to host1. Now it is running. It will get output from both devices. Now if you want to skip this password prompt, what you can do, you can hard code the password, but that is not the recommended way. There is a concept of Ansible Vault. We'll see that in upcoming videos. So now we'll hard code the password here. We'll run it again without -k. The reason for this error is because I edited host file, not host1 file. I'll go and edit the correct file now. I'll just copy this. Okay, let's run it again. Yeah, now it is working. So the host file, I'll revert back to the previous one, the default one, host, delete it. Save the file. Now if you want to run it from a specific host file, for example, this is a file. If this is a file, what you can do, you can just give -i, then the complete location of the host file, and execute the script. So you can give inventory file from any location like this for each case, use cases or something. Now we'll see how to fetch devices from each group. So before that, what we can do is we'll see what are the options available. You can see one option here, subset. Using subset, you can define any group or device in the inventory. We'll see how to do that. Here you can see a group called DC group. So I'll copy this name, and since we are using the default host file, we don't have to manually define the file, inventory file here. What we'll do, -l, and I'll give the group name. So what it is doing, from inventory, it is taking this group and executing it on all the devices. So it has done the script execution. Now we have another option here, limit. So what limit does is you can have additional patterns for the inventory. That means you can have a lot of customization or rules. We'll see what is pattern here in Ansible targeting hosts and groups. You can see there are some examples. So one example I'll show you here, excluding from a group. So if web server is a group, if you want to exclude Atlanta group from this main group, you can do it in this way. So we'll try to do that. Okay, yeah, before going ahead with -limit, in -l we can see we would be able to run it even directly to another group or devices. We'll see that. So DC1 was one group here, we are able to run it, or even we can directly run it on a device. So that is the use of -l. Now we will see one example of limit. So for that, hyphen limit, then our group name is dc underscore group. So under dc underscore group, you can see we have another two groups, and r1 and r2 are there. So we'll exclude dc2 from this. So what we can do, same as this document, we'll give exclamatory, then dc02. Let's execute this. Now you can see it executed only on r1. Now another thing what you can do, now we'll try giving r1 here. Now it will exclude particular device. Yeah, so now it executed only on r2. That's all about basics of inventory in Ansible. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. In the upcoming videos, we'll cover some more advanced topics.